I've been in the hydrogen industry since 2013, so 10 years now. I got myself an alkaline water machine after I was involved in a very bad ATV accident. I got traumatic brain injury, almost broke my C1, C2 vertebrae, which,
Oh,
as you, I
oh,
always look for the facial reactions when I
I'm gonna
say
have
that.
to leave. I can't continue this conversation. You're sending chills up my spine. All this stuff here.
Yeah, I was very, very fortunate not to be left as a quadriplegic breathing through a tube and just being alive. Fortunately, I experienced a bit of vertigo naturally, as well as my biggest challenge was aphasia. So for those that don't know what that is,
I've heard the term, but
I yeah, I knew what I wanted to say. My cognitive function, my memory is all good, but it would kind of come out as like a whole sentence in one word. It would just be yeah, like garbled out. So I had to actually, go through little monotonous exercises of teaching myself how to talk again, like 3 word sentences, 4 word sentences. And I was pretty hard on that because I like to talk. So I needed to make sure that I could continue to do that. And actually, oddly enough, 2 weeks to the day of me being in an accident, I was already playing baseball again, which in retrospect, I should not have been doing because if anything had gone wrong, then right back to square one
but we're
again.
guys. We're applauded if we get back on the horse again here immediately.
Yes, exactly. So I ended up investing in a Kangen water machine because my buddy had been trying to sell me a Kangen water machine for years. And I'm
And
like, yeah,
let's stop for 1 second. That's the one
yeah,
I'm familiar with. I think it's
yeah,
out of Korea or something, and they have
Japan.
franchises all over the country or something like that. And
Yeah.
they've been touting this for a while.
Hmm.
This idea that alkalinity in water, not
Yeah.
just filtering out other bad stuff, which some of these systems do. We all know there's a lot of heavy metals and contaminants that still make it into our
Hmm.
system. The federal government allows so many parts per million, and people are like, I'm not sure I want any part of that stuff in my water here. But it's
Hmm.
hard to purify everything here, and I'm not doubting any of our water purity and everything else, but people want something better. So
Yep.
part of it is they go in for that.
Yep.
But the issue, and that's what we're going to talk about the rest of the show here today, is this notion that somehow adding alkalinity, making your water more alkaline,
Mm.
somehow, I didn't hear about this condition. I always heard that it alkalinity kills cancer, or that cancer can't thrive in alkaline water. Is that
Yeah, that comes from a quote from Dr. Otto Warburg. He was Nobel Peace Prize winner in 1931. He did not win the Nobel Peace Prize for saying that. That was a theory of his. And there is while there's some truth to that, drinking alkaline water isn't going to have any effect on that whatsoever. And I've got actually a perfect example of that. I live just outside of Vancouver in British Columbia. We're surrounded by mountains. You would think that we would have a very good mineral content in our water. Oddly
yeah?
enough, we have borderline reverse osmosis water. We've got minimal. That's like I say, that's bordering on reverse osmosis.
Meaning
Uh,
that they've taken everything out of the water.
yeah, it's very pure-ish water to a degree when it comes out of the water treatment plants. One of the problems that we have, and this is everywhere, the piping from the water treatment plant to your home. That's got all sorts of things that are then leaching into your water, like you already mentioned earlier, heavy metals. It's actually been studied and recognized that there's a heavy amount of lead in our water. And I mean, I live in BC. I hear it all the time. Oh, we got the best water in the world. I'm like, in comparison to what? Flint, Michigan? Like,
Ouch. Sorry to Flint, Michigan. They're the punchline of everybody, but
when it comes to
deservedly
water,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, their water, because they have all this aging infrastructure,
Yeah.
the pipes are literally rotting and spewing
Well,
stuff into the water here. Yeah.
that area alone has a tough go with it because they're getting all of their water from the Great Lakes. And so it's just a constant recycling of the water. And most water treatment facilities don't have the ability to remove things like pesticides, pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are a big one. PFAs, the forever chemicals. I've got actually a really good post from that I'm going to be doing on that, and how damaging those can be. But going back to the alkalinity thing, the funny thing in BC is they've now added some calcium to the water, so our TDS has gone up a little bit, but so is the pH of the water. And this is what I mean by this: the pH of the water in BC right now is around 8.5, which is crazy. That's actually very alkaline for tap water. If alkaline water balanced the pH in your body and made your body more alkaline, and that made you healthier, wouldn't everybody in BC be as healthy as humanly possible right now because we're drinking a 0.5 pH water?
Right.
So there's some serious immediate holes in that theory. And that's really what led me to where I am today, and led me away from Kangen and to Alcaviva, because one, their purification, their filtration with the Alcaviva machines are phenomenal, and that is absolutely crucial. The magic of what is done in these machines is creating the hydrogen-rich alkaline water. Let's not get that confused. The hydrogen is going to reduce oxidative stress, permeate your cell membrane, increase mitochondrial function, among which lead to a whole bunch of other benefits for your body. It has nothing to do with the alkalinity, but the water must be purified before it goes through that process. So that's one thing I really like about the Alcaviva machines. They come standard with 16 stage dual filtration, with options to go up, options to remineralize the water like you would need to in British Columbia when it's so minerally depleted. And they've got a technology inside the machine that maintains the electrolysis plates properly so that you are guaranteed a lifetime of hydrogen production. And again, it's the hydrogen in the water that you're looking for. The alkalinity is not changing your health. It's going to taste better, but in terms of actually balancing out your pH, that's a big, huge myth.
Okay. All right. So we're going to delve into some of this because that's what the Kangen machines and all those other things. It's the alkalinity in the water. Is there any support of that, Dr. Trin? That the idea that I always heard it with cancer, that cancer can't grow or survive or thrive in an alkaline environment. Is that a myth? Is that any support for that?
Yeah, cancer thrives better in an acidic environment. We know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So the question I would have is, are there studies showing health outcomes outside of the lab, outside of what we see in the lab? Are there studies in humans showing that if you drink the water, right, whether it's alkaline or whether this is hydrogen rich, that there are actually, health outcomes? Are you reducing blood pressures, diabetes, cancers? That would be kind of interesting to see. I don't know if there are. Do you know, Dr. Claudia?
Well, what I do know is we are alkaline by nature, but acid by function. So the most you can do to increase the alkalinity inside the human body, inside your cells, is very important. And as Shane was saying, reducing oxidative stress is really important. And the hydrogen molecules neutralize those. But eating more fruits and vegetables, that increases your alkalinity naturally. I actually disagree with you, Shane. I do think the alkaline water is helpful.
Fair.
And not just the hydrogen ions, because I've done, my own studies with my own patients, one by one, and I've seen incredible impact. Now, can I say that's only H2, the hydrogen molecules or the alkalinity, but I do know that alkalinity has a lot to do with how the body heals.
Yeah, and I do agree with that. It's kind of a hard thing when I'm explaining that. It's more that I'm putting emphasis on the hydrogen in the fact that that's at a cellular level where you're going to see bigger benefits. I'm not saying that alkaline water isn't good for you. There is a benefit to alkaline water. Your caloric valve is pH sensitive, so the alkalinity will allow for quicker absorption. That's a huge benefit on its own. What I mean, though, is the alkalinity in the water isn't solely responsible for changing the alkalinity or the pH in your cells in your body. That's kind of what I was meaning. I was just more putting the emphasis on the hydrogen above the alkalinity, because I do believe that's the more important factor of it.
Well, the other important thing with ionized water is you're breaking down the molecule, the clusters of water. Water tends to be ionic and it likes to clump. So when you put water through your ionizer, it actually breaks it into smaller clusters, about 5 to 8 molecules, as opposed to 12 and above, which is what standard water or dead water is. So it's like living at the bottom of a pristine waterfall. When the water comes down a waterfall or a river with lots of rocks, you're breaking up those molecules into smaller clusters, which actually penetrate the cells and hydrate you. I have patients who come in and I give them alkaline ionized water, and within like half an hour, they have to urinate. And they're amazed because it's an actual natural way to detoxify the body.